This is a summary of the article Culturally Responsive Teaching. There are 6 components to culturally responsive teaching: validating, comprehensive, multidimensional, empowering, transformative, and emancipatory. Validating refers to teaching through the strengths of students and acknowledging that their cultures are important. Through validation, students should own who they are, and we as teachers should integrate multicultural information through all subject areas. Comprehensive refers to teaching the whole child, including intellectual, social, emotional, and political learning. This creates a sense of belonging and a family atmosphere. Multidimensional refers to teachers collaborating from different subject areas to develop one cultural concept. Students can also participate in self-evaluations of their learning. Empowering allows students to believe in themselves. They believe they can succeed because teachers have high expectations and support students. Transformative teaching is when teachers respect various cultures and use resources for teaching and learning. This type of teaching allows students to become reflective citizens on issues. Emancipatory teaching allows for freedom and helps students to become compassionate. Through this liberation, students feel validated, which improves performance. I believe I can improve in all of these areas. The component I feel I do the best job in is empowering. I know all students are capable. I ensure rigorous content is evident in my teaching. I support my Latina population of students by providing wait time, discussions, bilingual dictionaries, interpreters, and work in their native language. I do not assume that ELL students need to be in the lower group because their English is limited. They need to be immersed in the content. I often put myself in their shoes and think, what if I was suddenly moved to a new country by my parents where English was not the dominant language? Would I want to be labeled as uneducable just because I am not fluent in the native language of that country? Does my IQ diminish because I am unable to speak the language? My answer is absolutely not. So my first question to you is, choose one of the culturally responsive teaching components: validating, comprehensive, multidimensional, empowering, transformative, and emancipatory. Which component do you use the most in your teaching? What do you do to incorporate this component in your classroom? Next, this is a summary of a critically compassionate intellectualism. Latino and Latina students are often given coursework that is remedial and unchallenging. Valid school knowledge needs to be available for all groups evenly, not just dominant groups. Students of color think they need to accept the way things are in society and especially school. Dominant ethnicity groups enact power over them through racist ideas which mold attitudes towards students of color. Therefore, students of color check out mentally and become silent. Latina students and other students of color are unable to advocate for themselves when put into lower track classes due to the suppression they have felt. They have accepted the lower class as status quo. Thankfully, some schools offer social justice classes, which is one part of a critically compassionate intellectualism. These classes afford Latina students the opportunity to find their voices. Students can become involved citizens that raise awareness to social issues such as racism. This article also states that critical pedagogy is key to creating problem solvers and thinkers. Unfortunately, banking education is still widely found in most classrooms. Banking education is when the teacher is seen as the only authority of knowledge. Classroom discussions need to be prevalent in classrooms in order to counteract this type of education. We as educators need to stop the silence of Latinos and Latinas and let discussion ensue in the classrooms. Finally, a third part of critically compassionate intellectualism is authentic caring. If we show that we genuinely care for Latinos and Latinas, then they will want to do better. I feel this is true for all students. Most often, all children need in order to succeed is a loving and caring teacher with high expectations that truly believes in them. This article reminded me of a student that I had one year in third grade. He came to me knowing very little English. I did not want to automatically assume that he should be placed in a lower group because of his limited English. I placed him with on grade level and above grade level Latina students to make him feel more comfortable and to be able to communicate in his own language. I have heard over the years that Latinas should not be allowed to speak Spanish because they will not learn to speak English. I do not believe this. Latina students will perform better if they know that their culture is seen as important. However, I found that even placing him within this setting that he would not readily communicate. I had often wondered over the years as to why, but after reading this article, I think I know. He most likely had experienced the powerful dominant groups and decided it was better just to be silent and mentally check out. I did not give up on him. I genuinely loved him and held him to the same high expectations as others with understandable patience. He gradually came out of his shell. I will never forget the first time he raised his hand in math and gave me an answer out loud. I was ecstatic. He went on to do very well on his EOGs and continued to be successful in fourth grade. So my second question to you is, would you categorize your teaching as banking education, where you are the only holder of knowledge? If so, what could you do to change? If not, share how you use discussion within your classroom to create critically compassionate intellectualism. Thank you.